Hello, hello, my friends, my food companions, and just beautiful people. Your trusted friend and chef, Kanan Badalov, is back with yet another culinary experiment. You see, I have this little obsession with taking well-known fast food recipes and giving them a proper upgrade. And what better playground for this than the iconic KFC-Style chicken? But here's the twist. Today, I'm not just working with chicken, I'm going all in. Whole lamb. That's right, KFC-style crispy, golden perfection, but on an Azerbaijani scale. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But that's exactly why you've got to stick around and watch how this unfolds. Let's get started. But hold on, before we start showing this lamb, whose boss, trimming, cutting, and deep frying it into crispy bliss, let's make sure you've done your part first. Have you smashed that like button? Hit the bell icon? Subscribe to the channel? No? My friend, that's something you should have done ages ago, but hey, I won't hold a grudge this time. Ha ha ha. Just joking, but seriously, do it now so you never miss an episode of this madness. Now, dealing with an entire lamb is no joke. We're talking about a serious, time-consuming cooking process. And since I want to make sure this turns out as incredible as possible without keeping us here until next week, I'll give the lamb a quick pre-boil in this basin. This step helps tenderize the meat just enough to cut down on frying time later, so we get that ultimate crunch on the outside without drying out the inside. Efficiency, my friends. It's all about efficiency.
Папа, я хочу индюшку маленькую. Папа, дайте маленькую индюшку.
Now let's take a second to talk about the phenomenon that is KFC chicken. Have you ever wondered why it became such a global sensation? I remember my first bite like it was yesterday. Crunchy, spicy crust, giving way to juicy, tender chicken inside. That texture, that flavor, it was instant satisfaction. And then, boom. The bucket was empty and I was left wondering where all the chicken had gone. A true tragedy. After that kind of gastronomic experience, I made myself a promise. I had to recreate it at home, but not with chicken. No, that would be too easy. Instead, I'm going big. Lamb. Picture this. Juicy, flavor-packed meat with a delicate web of fat marbled through every cut. When that lamb hits the sizzling oil, the fat melts into the meat, basting it from the inside out, making it impossibly tender while the outside transforms into a golden, crispy masterpiece. Just saying it out loud is making my mouth water. All right, before we move forward, we've got to do something very important. Get rid of the scum that's floating on top of the water. You see, when you boil meat, all the impurities, blood, and excess proteins rise to the surface, forming that foamy layer. And trust me, you don't want that in your final dish. If we leave it there, it can make the broth cloudy and leave behind an unwanted aftertaste. So we skim it off, making sure that what remains is pure, clean, and ready to soak in all the flavors we'll add next. Well, I think this lamb has had its nice little spa treatment in the boiling water. Time to move on. Since this is young lamb, the meat is already soft and tender. It doesn't need hours of cooking. Just a good 30 minutes is enough to get it where we need it. Overcooking would ruin that delicate texture, and we're not about to let that happen. Now, it's time to give this lamb some real personality. First up, a generous handful of salt. Not a sprinkle, not a pinch. I mean, let's make sure this lamb knows we mean business. Then we bring in the red sweet paprika for that rich, smoky depth. A bit of pepper to add a little heat. And finally, a secret blend of spices that's going to take this to another level. Each shake, each rub, it's all about locking in those layers of flavor. We've got to give the other side of the lamb the same VIP treatment. No lazy seasoning here. Every inch, every crevice needs to be coated evenly. This way, when we fry it, every bite will explode with that perfect balance of spice and juiciness. Now this is where the magic happens. We're about to create that legendary golden crust, that crispy, seasoned armor that locks in every ounce of flavor. And the first step, a generous coat of flour. Not a sprinkle, not a light dusting. I mean, we're giving this lamb a full-on snowstorm of flour on all sides. All right, now that our lamb is properly floured up, it's time for a little gravity-assisted prep. I'm hanging it up. Why, you ask? Because this way, any excess flour falls away, leaving only what's needed for that even, perfect crust. Plus, it lets the surface settle a bit before we move on to the next step. Now time to prepare the sizzling bath for our lamb. And when I say bath, I mean a deep, luxurious soak in scorching hot oil. Before that, though, we need an egg wash. And not just a couple of eggs. No, my friends, this is a full operation. I've got 20 eggs here, that's right, 20. I crack them, mix them up into a smooth, rich batter. And this is what I'll use to brush over the lamb. Why? Because this egg coating is what binds the next layer, our breadcrumb armor, securing it in place and making sure that crunch stays intact. And this step is the glue that holds everything together. And hey, while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You've already come this far, might as well stick around for more crazy food experiments. Like the video, ring the bell icon. Come on, you know the drill. And now for the real game changer, breadcrumbs, but not just a sprinkle, I mean mountains of it. I'm mixing these breadcrumbs with a bit of flour, creating a custom coating that defines the thickness of our crust. More breadcrumbs, thicker crust. Less breadcrumbs, weaker crunch. And trust me, we're not here for a weak crunch. I toss them over the lamb, showering it like a golden avalanche, until the lamb is almost completely buried under this crispy treasure. This is what's going to give us that signature bite, the one that shatters in your mouth before melting into juicy, buttery meat. And what's a KFC-inspired feast without French fries? Of course, we're making them, but not just any fries. These are big, bold, rustic fries with that hand-cut, homemade vibe, thick enough to hold on to the crispy outside while staying soft and fluffy inside. These aren't your standard boring fast food fries. These are the real deal. Here we go. The moment of truth. The lamb goes into the preheated oil, and immediately you hear it. That sizzle, that angry crackling sound as the hot oil embraces the lamb. And just like that, the colour instantly starts to change. From pale and floury to deep golden brown. This is where the magic happens. You know it's going to be good. You can smell it. And it's done. Look at this beauty. I carefully lift it out of the oil, and you can see the transformation. The crust is thick, perfectly golden, and just begging to be cracked open. This is what perfection looks like. Alright, time for the fries. No uniform factory cut sticks here. These fries have character. They're chunky, irregular, with crispy, golden edges and soft, fluffy centres. They've got that homemade, straight from the village charm that makes them taste even better. And now, the final presentation. The lamb rests on a soft pillow of fresh, crisp lettuce, waiting to be devoured. But we can't wait too long. That crust, so carefully built and fried to perfection, needs to be enjoyed right now, before it even thinks about getting soggy. Time to dig in. But look at this. Someone here is really enjoying the fries. My little one, she's completely focused on them. But hey, my girl, don't just stop there. Take some lamb, one bite and you'll know the difference. Crispy, juicy, packed with spice. Nothing compares. And speaking of bites, oh, my friends, just look at this lamb. The deep, golden brown crust speckled with spice, hiding the impossibly juicy meat underneath. The second my knife cuts through, you hear that crunch. It practically echoes. Then, as I pull it apart, steam rises, revealing tender, glistening meat inside. I take a bite, and wow! The crust shatters, giving way to buttery, perfectly seasoned lamb. The spices dance on my tongue. The richness of the meat coats every bite, and the crispy shell adds just the right amount of contrast. This is everything I hoped for. Now, if this made you even a little bit hungry, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible food adventures. You won't want to miss what's coming next. And that's it. Another wild food experiment, another incredible result. This was no ordinary meal. This was a whole lamb done KFC style, and I have to say, it turned out even better than I imagined. Thank you all for watching. This has been your chef, Kanan Badalov, bringing you bold flavors, big ideas, and unforgettable bites.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Until next time, keep cooking, keep experimenting, and keep making life delicious.